Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to share with you another lesson of Gnosis. As you know, I already finished the introduction to Gnosis, so I had this course already, and I want to continue teaching some practical issues that might be useful for people looking for some kind of advice. So all of these lessons are based on the Gnostic way of doing things and is based all on the Gnostic philosophy. So if you're interested in this, I hope you will find it useful. So let's get started. This lesson is about the Gnostic way to find the right love partner and how to become more attractive to achieve this goal. So first of all, from the point of view of Gnosis, we view the basic attraction between man and woman as fundamental to our doctrine, to our teachings. So according to the Gnosis, the ideal situation in the world is as follows. Female traits attract masculine men and masculine traits attract feminine women. So if you notice in the Gnosis, we only talk about men and women, and this is for different reasons. For the first one is because we want to achieve the creation of the soul, to achieve the creation of the spirit, and all of this is only possible through natural interaction between men and women. This is why we focus specifically on this. So this attraction between man and woman, in this basic way, you can say it is somehow magnetic. Like the masculine nature is completely opposite to the feminine nature. However, this is only as far as nature itself goes, because in the course of the relationship interaction with a woman that will be compatible with you, it is usually better to find someone who is more similar to you rather than the opposite. So this is actually you need to find some compatibility, not so much opposite attracts, like some people say. You don't want to find someone who is completely opposite of you. You want to find someone who has affinity with the things you want. And but basic from the, let's say, physical, biological point of view, it is usually like this, that the more masculine a man is, he will attract a very feminine woman, and a very feminine woman will be attractive to a very masculine man. So let's get started with the next topic. So we want to talk about what kind of relationships we want to find in the Gnosis. So the main concept about a Gnostic relationship is what you could find, or you could probably define as somehow traditional relationship. That means heterosexual relationship, lifelong relationship, monogamous relationship, where there is mutual love. So this is the main thing that we want to achieve in the Gnosis, and this is actually, for very practical reasons, it has to do not so much with morals, but with practical matters, as we discussed already in some lessons before. But it needs to be heterosexual, only between men and women can the sexual energy become something creative in the most spiritual and esoteric way. And it needs to be lifelong, because we want to create something. We want to create a spirit. We want to create our souls. And for this, it's necessary to have just one partner. So this kind of goes together with monogamous relationship, because we cannot create our spirit, we cannot create our soul if we have multiple partners. It's just not possible. So this is really not about morals. It's actually about something very practical. If you happen to have a problem with your partner and you will separate, so that is already not a lifelong relationship, it doesn't make it absolutely impossible, but it makes it more difficult to achieve the goals that we are seeking. So that's why this is the goal of the relationship in the Gnosis, to have this kind of relationship. And mutual love is also a requirement, because love is somehow also an energy together with sexual energy. So sex and love, they are very powerful energies. So we need to have a relationship where there is actually interest in, and it's shown in the way of love and physical intimacy. So what is the purpose of a relationship according to Gnosis? So this is the purpose of the relationship that we're seeking, is mutual self-realization. So we want to have the inner work, the 3 factors of consciousness revolution that we already mentioned in previous lessons. So those are, if just to recap, is the second birth, the consciousness death, the conscious death, and it is also the sacrifice for humankind. So it is this work, this inner work, that can be done more effectively, like 100% more effectively in the couple. So that's why it is important to find someone who has a lot of affinity with you, someone who shares your goals and your plans for the future, because it will make it much more effective, much more practical, much more easy if you have someone who is helping you, because this work as its own, if you don't have the, let's say, help or the assistance of your partner, it still can be done, but it's going to be more challenging. So for this, we also need the assistance of our partner for the psychological work. That means ego death, how to create the soul, consciousness awakening. There are different ways to stimulate the awakening of consciousness as a couple. Sexual alchemy, of course, is of paramount importance, how to create spirit. We can also create a family, and many other things that come together with just a very fulfilling relationship. Just pay attention also to the fact that this is mutual self-realization. So you're responsible for your own work, even if you work together as a couple. You're also working on your own goals, you're working on your own objectives, and you're actually responsible for your own progress, for your own success. So this is the most ideal situation in the Gnosis. And let's talk about the importance of mutual attraction and interest. So it is important to create attraction in the opposite sex. Most of the lesson is going to be focused on men, how men can become more attractive for women. So this is actually an advice that can actually have, let's say, impact in not just in the area of relationship with women, but actually in our entire life. And the main purpose is to be the best version of yourself. And to do this, we are going to eliminate weaknesses. And what kind of weaknesses we are going to eliminate? So we are going to talk about that, how to become more selective, become disciplined, persistent, patient, how to become stronger, become smarter. And this will actually be reflected in every area of our life. So let's get started with this. So to eliminate weaknesses from the point of view of the Gnosis, we want to become a different person, and we want to become more attractive for women. And how are we going to do this? So we are going to have interaction with women, talking to women, listening to women, observing and learning about their behavior, and also about our own behavior. And unfortunately, in this time, there is a lot of, let's say, negative publicity about masculinity. So, from the point of view of Gnosis, it is very important to rescue the true values of men, and we want to see struggle as growth opportunities. We have these, let's say, disadvantage this generation, especially the peoples who are right now in their teen years, 18, 19, and older. They have a lack of a very positive role model, especially from the point of view of masculinity, and it's necessary to have a way to get rid of those negative influences. And for this, we're going to have some kind of training, and because we want to focus on eliminating the weaknesses that will make us less attractive. From the point of view of the Gnosis, we want to talk to women, and we want to see what are our mistakes. Let's say, if I'm talking to a woman and I feel some fear, I feel afraid of talking to her, or I feel something in my body, remember, we're going to practice self-awareness. And when we are in a self-awareness state, we will be more able to actually take control of our own actions, our own reactions, and we're going to practice also self-observation, all while interacting with women. Why is it useful to do the practice of self-observation? Because we are going to pay attention to our physical sensations, how we feel the body, how the body is, in which position is the body, and we're going to see our thoughts, we're going to see our feelings, emotions, our actions. We want to try to be aware of where we are, what are we doing, and pay attention to our reactions, pay attention to the things we say, and also we pay attention to how we feel when, let's say, a woman talks to us, or when we are approaching a woman, we can see what is our emotional reaction. And we want to pay attention to all these weaknesses and see these as growth opportunities. So it doesn't need to be perfect. Nobody was born perfect. And according to the Gnosis, we want to take advantage of each opportunity to find weaknesses and eliminate them. For this, we're going to eliminate them with the practice of the ego death. So it's going to be absolutely amazing and very, very, very effective. So every time you talk to women, you will have less anxiety. Let's say, for example, if you feel anxiety when you're talking to a woman, okay, so that's what you watch, that's what you saw in your own self. So when you come home after the end of the day, after the end of the date, whatever was your interaction with women, you will have an opportunity to see, okay, so when I'm talking to women, I feel some anxiety, so I'm going to work on this feeling of anxiety, and you are going to eliminate it. So the next time you go and talk to a woman, you will not feel like this, or you will feel less. So it is interactive somehow. But this is absolutely necessary. You cannot eliminate weaknesses unless you actually go and approach women. So we're not going to give tips on some kind of tricks of what to say to a woman, how to make her more interested in this course, we don't want to give people tricks, because tricks are not really effective because they don't change your nature. So what we want in this in Gnosis is we want to change our own nature. So we no longer experience anxiety, we no longer feel insecure, we no longer feel rejection or pain, because rejection is an action, but we can change our reaction to each of the things that happen with women. So let's say we come to a woman, we start talking to her, and she's not interested. So if she's not interested, there's actually something positive, because she's being honest with us and she's somehow saving us the effort. So if she's not interested for whatever reason, we don't need to waste our time, but sometimes we take reaction in a negative way. So after the rejection comes, the reaction can be, I feel some pain in myself, I feel some negative emotion, I feel sad, maybe I feel some shame, I feel maybe some anger. So we want to pay attention to each of these emotions and we want to work with them. So every time we interact with women, these are growth opportunities, psychological growth opportunities. And we also want to pay attention to the main fact that there needs to be interest in the couple that we want. We want to have someone who is interested in us. We want to have someone who is attracted to us. So that's why we should not see rejection as the enemy. Actually, rejection is something positive, because it means, okay, I don't need to waste my time anymore with this person. She's not interested, so I can move to find someone else. Or it can also be some kind of feedback and try to find why she was rejecting us or rejecting me. So if she's not interested in me, maybe there is something I can fix about myself, or she's just not interested in me for different reasons. Anyway, we don't want to get stuck and try to make someone attracted to us if she's not interested. We don't want to make someone particular, someone specific, attracted or interested in us. We want to work with someone who is already interested, so we can work with that. And in general, this is a process that is going to be some kinds of iteration. So we are going to do it. We're going to work on ourselves, and then we continue talking with women, and we want to find the way to improve ourselves with this kind of process. The second point that we want to be is we want to become more selective. And this is very important because, for example, if I am single and I don't have a couple, I might be tempted to find or settle for the first opportunity, for the first woman who accepts my advance, for first woman who likes me. So first, it is very important to decide what you want. You need to put it even in writing, because sometimes we don't really know what we want. So writing it really helps us, and we need to have actually high standards. We want to ask for what we want, and don't be afraid if we have high standards. Of course, the higher the standard, the less people you will find. But actually, for the Gnosis, we want to have really high standards. We want to have a good woman. We don't want to have the relationship with someone who is going to, let's say, create problems for the relationship. We don't want to have someone who is going to be unfaithful. We don't want to have someone who is not going to have a good relationship, good communication. Even health sometimes is very important. We want to find someone who is healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy. someone who has good relationships with their parents, with their peers, someone who is truthful, honest, humble, noble. So all kinds of qualities we need to pay a lot of attention to what we want, and this can be some kind of list. And if we want, we can even order this list in some kind of a priority, what is more important to us. And we want to decide what are the issues that are completely non-negotiable, what are the minimum things that we want. For example, if I want to have a woman who doesn't smoke, who doesn't have tattoos, who doesn't have piercings, if that's what I want, I should not settle for less. I should not compromise. So if she is smoking, then I can say, okay, I don't want to live with a woman who is smoking. I don't want to live with a woman who is getting drunk every weekend. I don't want to get in a relationship with a woman who has been with a lot of men. I don't want to be with someone who is promiscuous or whatever it is that you want. You need to decide for yourself what you want, and you need to write it down because that will be your standard. So it is recommended from the point of view of Gnosis that you should aim to the highest standard and don't settle for less. You need to commit to your own standards and don't accept less than this. It is important to set boundaries when you have relationships with women. So you need to also decide what is your limit, what are you unwilling to accept in a relationship, because as important as it is to know what you want, it is also important to decide what you don't want. So these are going to be your boundaries, and you need to enforce your boundaries because this will help you to have very healthy relationships. And if you're looking for an ideal woman, you can find it. It is only possible in a world where we have so many women to have someone who will fulfill your dreams. It is important also to go where you have an advantage. And this can be done in different ways. For example, you can travel and you can go to a place where you're different. So it is something that you can do. Or you can have an opportunity to be, I don't know, an instructor of some kind. So in this point, you have an advantage about men who are not expert in the topic where you're an expert. So making yourself in a higher position, lifting or raising your status will give you an advantage, will give you an edge. And this is something that you should seek. You should try to be where you have an advantage in every possible way, not just physical advantage, can be status, can be knowledge, can be reputation, all kinds of advantage. You should try to capitalize this to your benefit. And just to kind of reinforce what we said before, you need to go with who is interested in you. So you should avoid trying to convince someone who is not interested because it's going to take a lot of effort and it's probably not going to be effective. So just pay attention, and pay attention. This is what you need to do. You need to observe women and you need to filter women. You need to really decide how is she going to give some benefit to your life. So you already have the list of things you want, so you need to really decide if this woman with whom you are interacting is worth your time, worth your effort, worth your your life, because you want someone who will be your partner for life. So you need to really be satisfied with this person in every possible ways. So a lot of men right now don't have very high standards. They want to have just the minimum. That's why I think it is very important to start with this point. And second, we want to talk about the need to become disciplined, persistent, and patient. We need to improve ourselves constantly. We need to never give up and just understand that inner work brings results. It is important to keep a journal or a diary, so this way you will have some kind of feedback of your inner work. And it's important to keep track of your progress. For this, is usually very useful to have some kind of worksheet, either it is electronic worksheet or paper worksheet, where you want to work on yourself and see if you are having some progress, and this will give you a very good feedback. So this is somehow, let's say, complementary. You're going to do the journal, so you have an accurate depiction of your current inner state. And about the inner work, it is important to understand that inner work, meaning ego death, is going to bring results, and the results don't actually have to do anything with time. Because you might wonder, okay, how long is going to take for me to wake up my consciousness? How long is going to take for me to eliminate the ego? Or how long is going to take for me to get rid of a specific weakness? It's not about time, it's about the work itself. So if you work consistently, you will see results, and the results don't relate to time. They relate to the work itself. So if you work seriously, you will see results, and don't worry so much about the time. Just like it says here, never give up. I mean, improve yourself constantly in every possible area. And what it says about being specific is you need to decide one area that you want to improve and just work on that. We talk about this in more detail in the ego death practice, but you need to be as specific as possible in your inner work, because this is going to give more positive results than if you just try to broadly say, oh, I want to improve myself. Yes, but what do you want to improve? Okay, I want to be able to talk to a woman without feeling anxiety, without feeling angry if she rejects me, without feeling sad after the rejection. Okay, so that is your goal. Make it specific and try to work on that. And after you have positive results, you can work in something else. This is progressive work. It's necessary to become stronger in the relationship with women, and becoming stronger will make us more attractive to women. This is because strength is a masculine trait. So we want to fortify the body and the mind. So physical exercise is necessary. It is very desirable to have a healthy body and healthy mind, of course, as well. And we want to work progressively. The same principles we were using in the inner work, we can use a worksheet to measure our, let's say, our progress in our body. So if we are doing some exercises or we want to lose weight, we want to keep track of that. Okay, so what is our current weight? Let's say I'm 85 kilograms and I want to be 80. Okay, so I will record my weight. So I will pay attention to what I'm eating. I will pay attention to the exercises that I'm doing. So I will see some progress, and I will see how I'm going through to my goal, how I'm getting closer to my goal. And this is absolutely necessary. For example, I'm talking here about testosterone. Testosterone is related to masculinity, and it is related to body health as well. So a person who has a lot of excess body weight will have less testosterone. So you need to sleep properly, eat properly, workout, also have physical exercises. And there are a lot of videos about advice on how to increase testosterone. Maybe I will make a video to talk more about different activities you can do, because increasing testosterone will really help you in many different ways. And of course, from the point of view of Gnosis, the thing that will make you the most attractive, the most successful, the strongest, is keeping your sperm, your sexual energy, and doing transmutation. I will also create a video on how to do transmutation when you're single, when you're still not married. So this is necessary for people who still don't have a couple, who are not married, and they want to take advantage of this sexual energy, because if we are going to keep our sperm and our sexual energy, we need to transform it. And it's necessary also to become smarter. So how do we become smarter? We become smarter by awakening our consciousness. And for this, we need to do meditation and different practices that actually stimulate our intelligence, stimulate our consciousness to wake up. We need to read, we need to learn, we need to study. Whatever it is our interest, we need to do this like a commitment to improve ourselves. And especially we need to learn from mistakes, because a lot of times we make the same mistake over and over without making any progress. It is important to improve our appearance. So for this, there are also many ways in which you can improve your appearance, whether it's different clothes, whether it's your personal or hygiene, how you shave, what kind of body posture you have, your body appearance. So if you have a more, let's say, beautiful body, you will have more advantages, and this will create some kind of ripple effect. It will translate to success in all areas of your life. So you need to learn how to speak better, how to behave better, how to eat better, and improving yourself constantly is just necessary. And even though in this lesson we're trying to frame this in the point of view of how to become more attractive for women, this will actually create, like I said, a ripple effect. So this will translate into success in all areas of your life. And this is really amazing. And this is what the Gnosis want. We want successful men so that they can have a perfect partner for them and they can work together to improve themselves. So the final advice is to find the love you want and live your love, be happy. That's all I wanted to say for now. So let me know what you think about it, and if you have any questions, of course you can do it in the comment section. I want to remind you about the opportunity to help me support my work as content creator. In the description of each episode, I include information about different platforms you can use to support me with donations if you want to. You can also support me by liking, sharing this episode in social media, and subscribing. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.